zou zeggen, Anja, het podium is van jou.
I'm reading 2 short stories from an artist book I just did last year, and it's called Experiments in Time. It's 7 stories, and I start with story 6. He was still going to school when they met. They fell in love 1 week before she left the country. During the summer holiday, he took on a job at the fun fair to save money to follow her. He was conducting the ghost train. One afternoon, an Indian family visits the fun fair. They all mingle around the wagons, sit down, get up again, unable to make a decision. He watches them absent-minded, and by the time he assumes them to be ready he pushes the button to let them go off. Then he looks again. Only one little girl sits in the wagon. It is too late to stop the train. He sees her disappear, nothing he can do or change about it. After 2 minutes, the girl appears again. During the time of her absence, the remaining family members stand at his booth, constantly screaming at him. "What have you done? What have you done? How could you do such a thing? What have you done?" Last one. At this very moment, everything comes together. The music you are listening to matches with the rhythm of steps of passers-by in the streets, their laughter, the traffic sounds. Without aiming, you hit the bullseye, not even noticing you are playing the game, just enjoying it. He works in the cinema by the river. He sits behind the counter and sells her a ticket. He all smiles. He sits in front of her during the screening, turns round and passes on a flyer, dates and a venue. One evening it's him playing. She goes, he asks for her number. "You better be quick, I am soon leaving the country," she says. He is her favorite guest at all her goodbye parties. She postpones her flight an extra week. They float through the city like water. A rainbow over the tube station, a scared pigeon in the bus. She waits for him outside his favorite shop, a combined Super 8 stockist and a greengrocer from Cyprus. A man passes by. He wears a plastic bag pulled over his head against the rain, with holes cut out for his eyes. He shows her the stop with the stuffed animals, the front door locked up at night with an iron fence. Red paint had dripped from the frame, dried on the doorstep. He tells her a story. He sits in the bus, upper level, front seat, when a gun is fired. The bullet hits the window just 1 meter behind him. Splintered glass in his hair, on his jacket. The old man next to him helps wiping it off by using his bare hands. No one is killed or hurt. He couldn't speak for hours after that. He carries a tape recorder on his shoulder. She lies on the bed and watches him dancing. He slowly takes off his clothes to some cheesy rockabilly music he had bought under the bridge, posing for her, his pleasure, her pleasure. She wears sunglasses during the whole flight. She visits him. He does not help her with her bag. The bus gets stuck on the way uphill. A procession of black-hooded folk is blocking the streets. The door to his neighborhood's flat has the name God written on it backwards. In the yard of the housing area, children are looking for Easter eggs. The silhouette of the city lies hidden behind a curtain of rain. She smokes a cigarette on the balcony and he pretends to sleep, but she knows he isn't. When she knows that it is over, she asks him, "Why are you still there?" "I always like to stay for the credits after the film," he says. She wonders which film he is referring to. He sits behind the counter, same city, different cinema, some years later. There's no way to pretend she did not see him, so she walks straight up to him. He is all smiles. Thanks.